Hello, I'm Chris, and today I'm joined by Mr. Adam Cook. How are you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. Not bad yourself?
Awesome, yeah, not too bad.
Good.
We talk about Souls a lot on God is a Geek, but it's a different kind of Souls today. We're talking about Crossing Souls, which is a really interesting game. You've played quite a bit, so obviously, what is Crossing Souls for those that have probably never heard of it? Because I mean, it has gone under the radar a lot. So
yeah, massively. So Crossing Souls is an action-adventure game. It's published by Devolver Digital, and they tend to put out games people are interested in. It's by a developer called fourattic. That's one word, fourattic. And it's got lots of retroness about it. It's set in the 80s, you know, that you collect stuff like VHSs and tape cassettes, things that nowadays people don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
And it's just an excellent game. There's so much to like about it. Like you got 5 playable characters, and each one of them has got like their own sort of skill. So the one called Chris,
yes.
Chris Williams, I think it is. So it's bloody close, actually, Chris.
Is it? There's so much about this game that's close, which is scary.
Yeah, Chris with his blue hair. He has a baseball bat, and he can climb things and jump. So that's his skills. So Matt is like the scientist, kind of cliched, nerdy guy with glasses. He's got like a laser gun he can shoot projectiles out of, and he can hover. So he can get across gaps that you can hover across. Charlie is such you can sort of like do like it's a bit like Hyperlight Drifter. You can blink, you know, quickly across space, you know, dodge that way, and she's got a whip. Then there's Biggie, who's got like he can move heavy objects and he can punch things, and he's also got like 5 hearts for health instead of 3. And then there's Kevin, who is Chris's little brother, who doesn't actually have any attacks. He just farts, blows a balloon up, and pulls bogeys out of his nose. And all of this combined makes not both the combat and the exploration fun, because there's like, so there are puzzles, for example, where you need to, because you can just change between characters just tapping L1 on PS4, just go through them, and like you could be as Biggie moving an object, and then you realise, hang on, I can't move this object right into the corner. But then if you switch to Matt, you can jump off into the gap, hover round to the other side of it, and then you can push it right out of the way. You know, there's these elements that combine to make interesting puzzle solving. The hook or the twist is that you find an object early on a dead body in the forest, as is all great, you know, 80s sort of cliches.
Yeah.
And it's called the duat, and it lets you see the other side, you know, the other realm, the realm of the dead, you know, ghosts you can chat to. And at some point, I won't say who because I don't want to spoil anything, someone dies who you can control. And this then goes even further. Now, I wouldn't normally mention that because it's a story point, but I have to because it pushes the puzzle solving even further. So at that point, you can control 2 characters at once, one who's alive, one who's dead, meaning you're in the ghost realm, and the dead one can go and push or stand on a switch that only the ghost can get to open a door for the alive person to go through. The ghost can go through doors that can then pick up a key to come back and give, you know what I mean? So this puzzle solving starts to get really interesting, and it's just very well done. Like, the characters are terrific, the soundtrack and the looks brilliant. It's just a really, really lovely game.
Yeah, I mean, it incorporates a lot of 80s video game tropes as well. Like, there's one bit that reminded me of Battletoads where you're kind of travelling from left to right on a bike, and the directions pop up on the right hand side screen for where you need to press up, down, middle.
Yep.
So there's stuff like that, and then there's the Turtles in Time, the arcade game, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where it's like a beat 'em up, but it's from left to right again, and then once you've taken out all the enemies there, you move to the next bit of the screen, and it's really smart, and I kind of I appreciate all the references and stuff, and I don't know how that will come across to a lot of the younger people, but for me, and I know for you, they're very cool, like little nods to everything, even programs nowadays. It's just very smart little game.
I will say they do front load that stuff a little bit, like the sort of, not mini games, but the sort of sections that change it. There's like a shoot 'em up one later on, but they tend to they do it often enough, but they I wouldn't say they run out of ideas because that's a bit unfair, but what they end up doing is you get a few boss battles which don't feel great. Like the penultimate boss battle, it was difficult until you literally master, like the enemy's only got a certain amount of moves, it's just a case of mastering them and dodging them, and you can do it without taking damage. But then you're thrown right into like another boss fight, which again is easy, but if you die you have to start the whole thing again, and it it becomes almost too complicated towards the end in terms of. Well, it's difficult to say without spoiling because there are things that happen that make it more difficult than it was.
Yeah,
and it does front load those, like I say, those bits where like you said about the bicycle bit, and there's just lots to like about this. I really appreciate Crossing Souls. I think it's a fantastic game. I think it just ever so slightly runs out of steam towards the end. It wraps up fine. I just think in terms of gameplay, what you've learned to how to play it changes a little bit. There's you can use health packs, you can use stun packs. There's bombs and stuff. There's plenty to do, and it's kind of refreshing that there's no leveling up. It's just this is that character, he does this. It just you know what is you kind of know what it expects of you, and it's deeper than it looks. There is a puzzle in it that I'm hoping they patch because it's just I just don't know how you'd work it out. I had to literally contact the PR and say, I'm stuck. I don't get it. And they were stuck too, and they didn't get it at first. So it's like hopefully they'll patch that. But the game's out. Well, when you hear this, it's out soon. So hopefully, it's just a terrific game. And for an early game in 2018, you look at this video, and if you like what you see, 100% check it out. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, well, obviously you can read more about that and on God is Geek, and that's Crossing Souls, and obviously Devolver, one of the coolest indie game publishers, so it's certainly worth keeping an eye on this. Adam, thanks for your time.
Cheers.
And thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.